Oh, yes, we're back again with another banger. Make sure you come in, hit the like button, you hit the subscribe button, and you also hit the notification bell so you'll be notified once I drop a new video. I'm going to get into a discussion tonight. We're going to be discussing how she's overworked and underloved. For the last couple of weeks, I've been noticing a spike in women who are complaining about working all of a sudden. They no longer want to work. They want to barter their feminine energy for bills paid and debts paid. And it is ironic to see because what the veil is, the covering that's on top of everything is, if you indeed come to the woman as a man with your wallet hanging out with the money to pay whatever bill she needs or whatever she needs to be paid off or paid down, she's going to magically turn feminine. She's going to become the best woman. She's going to become the woman of your dreams, right? Hey, you know what? You got some bills to be paid. I'm looking for a woman, but I'm just trying to find the right one. And I heard if you pay some bills and shit, y'all just go superwoman. Is that true? This is a fool trying to justify and really trying to stand on the fact that if a man comes in, cleans up her mess, she's going to go superwoman for him. Well, what the question must be asked, the last guy that you slept with, what did he do? And if he did such a damn good job, how am I able to have this conversation with you right now? See how that doesn't make sense? If the last guy did all of this and he got the box, how are we having a conversation right now? And then you'll hear the crickets. You'll hear the crickets chirp. Because we know that you women do not, you don't want to be feminine to the men that you don't want to be feminine to the men that are looking for healthy, sustainable relationships. You want your needs met that you have at that time. And when that guy meets your needs at that time, he will be discarded until you have new needs. Because you'll have some you'll have some new needs. You'll have some new needs. I see it's a one chick I see on the internet I follow, and she's always in this bind of some sort. And she makes complaints about men spending money, about real men don't have a problem sending money and all of this type of shit, right? And what I come to realize is that the women who harp on money the most only has pussy to offer. Pre-owned pussy at that. Because what I also paid attention to was that women don't look for any other attributes of the man. Not his leadership qualities, not how loyal and dedicated and disciplined he is, not how good of a friend he is. None of that mattered. None of that is on the chart list. Is how much money does he have and how much money does he have to give me? And in exchange for said money, she'll be his slut for the night. So when women lead off with the money conversation, we innately know the only thing that you have to offer him is sex. And that, by definition, you'll be a prostitute. Because without the money, there is no sex. And without the sex, there is no money. So by definition, you're a prostitute. And I do have a video titled Prostitute Dating Chapter 1. I will get into Chapter 2. But I come to realize that a lot of women that is always focused on money, always talking about sex. It's always linked up with that transaction. So why would a man who understands this, who has the intellect and the experience to know what that looks like? Let me guess, you're going to get a new type of man. You're not going to get the man that you've been dealing with over the years that has a different name. You're going to get into a whole new stratosphere with that mindset, right? Y'all men always talk about men that spending money like real men. They spend money. You're gonna get into the top tier echelon with that mindset, right? That's how that works. You had the video of Erica Mena losing her damn mind when she found out she was only going to get $4,000 a month, because in her mind she thought Safari was her retirement plan. See, we have the burnt out whole contingency plan. We do have those. They have all different type of plans. When a woman looks at a man after a certain age, she's looking at retirement. She's looking at a space or a time capsule in which she can bullshit her life away. She wants to go on a vacation once to twice a month at, at, at your expense. She wants to eat the finest of food so she can Instagram and then Snapchat it up and TikTok it up at your expense. And in exchange, she's going to give you the same box she gave Tyrone, who only had to come in and knock on the door at 2 a.m. to say, or send a text saying, I'm outside, with a baggy bag full from Wendy's. And he got the best of her that night and morning. But you, my friend, you must take her to Thailand and to, the Dominican, and to Miami and to Vegas and Cali to the Usher concert. You, my friend, have to do all of that to get leftovers. And for the life of me, I can't process how women think that men are. That's why I say the women that think men are dumb, you usually see them in the murder part or the homicide part of the news. You see them being on the short end of the stick in a lot of cases. The only thing you can't verify, you can't hear it from her side, and you're not going to hear it from his side because he's going to be locked up immediately. So they got locked up soon after that. But in some of these cases, you had men that went live on Facebook, Instagram, or whatever to plead their case because they know they were either going to be unalived or they were not going to see the light of day ever again. So you got a little bit of this story as to what led them to doing whatever heinous act they did. And this is not giving them justification for doing said act. It's just acknowledging there was a reason why he did it. And a lot of the women that end up in the short end of the stick, I can bet my bottom dollar they thought they were smarter than the man and was trying to play games. Even with the women, you don't just see it with men on women. You see women who are playing the stud game unalive their girlfriend after they found out they were playing on them. So we have a huge issue in our society where the women, because they're more educated, they think education and intelligence is synonymous. It's similar, but it's not synonymous. It's kind of like having lights and power. Power affects more than just your light bulbs. It affects your refrigerator. It affects your stove. But most people think lights and power. Did you pay the light bill? Well, the power bill affects more than just the lights. It affects the power of the house. So they're not the same, but they are similar. But a lot of women, it's crazy to see this when man built the world that they thrive in. The man created the tampon. It's a man behind Victoria's Secret. You see how this works? But again, our society, because we're not in a full-fledged country, this is a corporate republic. Everything must be monetized and taxed. So the need for clarity is null and void. The only thing that matters is the bottom dollar, and that dollar is circulating. That's the only thing that matters in this country, the dollar. And the women have been poisoned with that mindset, which is why they lead with, how much money do you bring to me? And we as men have let this take place. We as men have sat back and given women almost full autonomy over the dating process, which we should be in charge of. We should be deciding on how the dating is going to go, not the woman. The woman decides who gets sexual access. But you as the man, you forfeit your manhood because you think by submission you get mercy and amnesty. You think you're going to get a complimentary fuck because you submitted yourself when that's really going to disqualify you. That's your disqualification. Women don't. They say they want one thing. You can't look at what they say. You must look at what they do. But it's the men that have succumbed to the unrealistic expectations and desires that women have, in which they only have said desires because TikTok and Instagram told them to. Can't name one player that's playing at the basketball game but want to sit courtside. Can't name one person at the who's in the Super Bowl but wants to go and have good seats, just so they can put it on TikTok so they can measure up with their friends and colleagues and peers. This is what I'm doing. Ha ha. And I'm not paying for it. The modern woman is overworked and underloved. And that is something she chose to be. Because you cannot have it all. That's why I added the late, great Kevin Samuels in this thumbnail. You cannot have everything you want in life. I'm sorry to tell you. You can't. You can have a lot of the things you want, but in a lot of those cases, you cannot have them simultaneously. Meaning you can't have them at the same time. You can't have a loving, faithful, devoted husband that's all about you, that's going to take you here and maintain a house to where you don't have to work. You're a fool. You're a fool. A beautiful fool at that, yes. But this shows how diluted and deluded our women have become. They will turn their nose up at a man that's coming to them and say, hey, I'm going to relieve 50% of your load. What you mean? I ain't going 50-50. That's a roommate. I'll pay everything. Okay. Well, you pay everything, Miss Independent. This is the modern fool we're talking to today. And you notice you only see this in probably 2 to 3 parts of the world. And that's America, Canada, and a lot of places in Europe. You won't hear this conversation or rhetoric in no other place outside of America, Canada, and some of Europe. This is why you don't see women going to Saudi Arabia. They're not going to the Middle East. And when they're definitely not going back to Dubai when they see Dubai is not playing the radio. Dubai is not playing that bullshit with you women. You get out of pocket, we're going to lock your ass up and see how much your country loves you. Yes, lady. Yes, baby, you have to work. I'm not sure you thought you were going to finesse the child support system. No, you're going to still work. You ladies chose to take your career path, and that's understandable, absolutely. But you cannot get everything you want. You're going to have to pick in some cases. You're going to have to compromise because life is a compromise. It's not that fairy tale shit you saw on TikTok. It's not none of that. And a lot of women are having these rude awakenings. You see the women being on antidepressants. You see the women crashing out with the TikTok marathons, crying about how they divorced their husband. Now they miss their family. You're going to see a lot more of that. Oh, you will. But yes, you guys let me know what you think about this situation where women don't have to work. Like, comment, subscribe. It's the Date Mouth.